G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in over on the west side of the map again, we have got Hera, who is going to be playing the French for us today. We've also got, oh my god, Vortex, what are you doing? Gosh, we got two of them. Marine Lord, who's going to be up towards the north of him, playing on the Rus in the color green. And of course, down to the south, once again, we've got Capoche playing the English. He's going to be on the color purple this time. So if you missed the first 3v3, make sure you go check that one out. That was on Arabia. This one is on Lipany. So it might be a little bit different. So let's go check out and see what our enemy team is playing, or rather our east side team is playing. And that is Lucifron. He's going to be playing the Chinese. Who else have we got? We've got Vortex up towards the north, who is going to be playing the French. So he has switched off the Mongols and switched over to the French. And down towards the south of him in the pocket position, we've got the Mister, who's going to be opening up with the Mongols. So it looks like we've got players switching up the civilizations, Mister going and switching with Vortex, and players deciding to switch things up. But let's talk a little bit about this map. So this map is Lipany, so obviously Arabia. It's a map without these sorts of, what do you call them? Cliffs, I guess is probably the best word for them. Cliffs. And typically not a lot of stealth forests, especially not in the middle of the map. Lipany, very similar, but the main difference is going to be cliffs. But yeah, this is, obviously it's a team map, so it spawns a little bit weirdly, or not weirdly, but a little bit differently, but you can see that you're quite close to your enemy. So typically in team games, or at least the games I'm familiar with, team games, you'd be much closer to your ally, so you might spawn like right here. And you can see that there's a town center here, so maybe like right there. So you can see it's a little bit further away. So I'd say you're almost a bit prone to rushing, at least on Lipany. This is, keep in mind, I don't do a lot of team games, at least in Age of Empires 4. In Age of Empires 3, I did a hell of a lot, thousands of them. But not in AoE 4 yet. So I'm still learning here, and keep in mind, guys, if you haven't watched the other videos, I've got COVID at the moment, so my voice is a little bit raspy, so you have to bear with me. There might be some times throughout the video where I do go for a break. But let's talk a little bit about what we expect to happen this game. So, in team games, typically, obviously, you have got 3 people. And one of the things to remember in Age of Empires 4 is you can't pick up your landmarks, you can't move them. Well, I mean, I take it back. The Mongols can. But in most other RTS games, you don't have this kind of landmark victory concept. It really is sort of the first thing, or the first time I've played a game with it in here, and it can be very unforgiving, especially in team games. I'm sure you guys would have played against a China player who, upon getting to the Imperial Age, just makes only fire lancers, and of course, they kill you with those just by targeting down your landmarks. And that can be quite a big issue, especially for new players. And one of the things that happens in team games is obviously you've got a big presence in the early game of military units. So if you just focus down one person, and you manage to kill both of their landmarks, well, that's just it. They're out of the game. They can't run their villagers up towards their enemy's base and rebuild a new base up here in the forests and, you know, join the elves. Like, that's just not how it works. Now, honestly, if there's a dev watching this, I'd like that to change. If I was gonna, if the devs came to me and they said, Drongo, we want to implement one change for team games for you in particular, what's it going to be? I would say, all right, let's say I've got 3 people on my team. All right, and this Chinese guy down here, he gets rushed, and he loses this landmark and this landmark. Don't knock him out from that, okay? Let him run his villages. Let him run his villages up to the corner of the map. Don't knock him out, okay? And then when they come for me and they knock out my deer stones and they knock out my town center, that's fine. Don't knock me out. Let me run my villages. But finally, when they come for the last guy, Vortex up here, and they kill his school of cavalry, they kill his town center, that's when you can knock us all out together at the same time. That way it makes it much more fair on players who get rushed, because in my opinion, you know, knocking someone out from a rush, it's basically just, it is a good game at that point, and it doesn't give you the option to even play in for any chance of a comeback because it's over. And there are so many games that I played in Age of Empires 3 in particular where I would do a comeback. I would have a comeback. The comeback would be real. And I would lose my entire base. Now, obviously in 1v1, that's very different. If you lose your landmarks, then I accept, you know, running your villages isn't going to help. But in team games, I think it's a viable strategy. It was something that we used to do all the time back in the day. It was just sacrificing a teammate, and it was a very common thing, and it worked very effectively. in some circumstances. So yeah, I would make that change if I was a developer, but I'm obviously not a developer. But let's talk a little bit about this opening. We can see that already we've got no actual professional scouts coming out just yet, but scouts are heading towards the north. Actually, I'm curious, has he added in? He hasn't added in a second hunting cabin. Why has he got so much population at the moment? Is it just me? It doesn't seem like he's got a lot. Is it just scouts that are built up? Might just be scouts that have built up. Still hasn't gone for professional scouts at this point either, Marine Lord has. He is 5 minutes 20 through. I'm curious why he hasn't done a little bit of selling yet. What's going on here? Did he make a mistake? I think he's misclicked. I think he's done a misclick somewhere. I reckon he might have bought. I got a feeling he might have bought food or something. He's misclicked 100%. Now he's going to get his professional scouts. This professional scouts should have been in a minute and a half ago. That's the thing. Yeah, a minute and a half ago. It's a total misclick. Something has happened here. Marine Lord has made a big mistake. But let's talk more about the game, what we've got going on. You can see professional scouts already in for the French player Hera down here to the south. So let's have a look and see what players are up to. So we'll go through the list. We've got Capoche down here to the south. No surprise here. Already beginning to build up those massive longbows, playing on that beautiful color purple. Our next player we've got Hera. I'm going to go through the list and pick them out like this just because it's much easier to follow for you guys. Going to be adding a second stable again, so looking to play very aggressive in the second age, I would suspect. Not really looking to go for that fast castle. Let's take a look up towards the north. So we've already spoken about Marine Lord. Going to be looking, his bounty's at 440 at the moment, so they're not doing terribly. Still yet to get those in, so yeah, having a tough time here, delaying that professional scouts massively. We'll take a look. Who else have we got over here? We've got over towards the north, we've got Vortex. Who is playing the French, going to be adding in that second stable. So both players going second stable. Professional scouts coming in. It looks like he's actually stolen away some hunts of his enemies as well. But now over towards the south side, it looks like we've got a little bit of a fight, a little bit of a ring around the rosy here, and a big mistake here from Lucifron once again. So losing 2 horsemen there, very unfortunate. It feels bad to be losing horsemen like that early on. But we'll take a look at Vortex. We'll see what he's up to. So got the stable out with the School of Cavalry. He's going to have plenty of production. We'll take a look at the next player on the list. It's the Mister. He is also going horseman. So we've got a triple cavalry opening right here from the east side team. You know, when I think about east side, west side, I think of, if you guys have watched The Simpsons, Cookie Kwan, #1 on the west side. Stay away from the west side. It's the realtor in The Simpsons. I think, is it Lionel Hutz? Yeah, Lionel Hutz hires her, and she's #1 on the west side. Very good, but east side, west side. I think I was just watching that recently. It was a good video. Anyway, so east side team adding in archers now as well, but we got the triple cavalry opening here in a team game. Also got the Mangadai coming out as well. And down, of course, obviously to the south, we have got Lucifron. Let's not forget him. Only going for the single TC this time. So they probably had a chat to him and said, hey, Lucifron, don't do that double TC again. But look at the deer carcasses he's got here. I wish we could count this up because it looks like they're all stacked in on top of each other. Plenty of units now beginning to move out for our enemy team here, or for our west side team, rather. Scouts doing their best to continue bringing in all those hunts and doing a great job of it. I reckon he must have close to 20 hunt underneath there. That's going to be 27 soon, but we'll ride on board with Hera. We'll see how he's doing. Up towards the north, it looks like a little bit of a raid came through over on Marine Lord, trying to take him out before he actually gets up to that next stage. And you can see he's having a bit of a tough time here. Manages to get all the villagers inside the town center. Looks like he's only going to have enough space barely to get that last villager in if he chooses to do so. But Vortex definitely making Marine Lord pay right there for not having those early units out. Double archery range. Now going to be able to drop that one down as well for Marine Lord here. But at the same time, down towards the base of Lucifron, we've actually got a huge amount of units that have come out here for Lucifron. He's got scouts on the front line, going to be working in tandem with those beautiful horsemen. We can see them coming out with their +2 already, +1 as well for the armor as well as the attack. Now going to be repelled out by Hera, but doing a great job. Going to be falling underneath that hand cannon. You hear that the town center firing off, getting through all that armor there from Hera. And Hera making a little bit of a mistake there. Going to be able to pick that one up, though. We'll take a look over towards the opponent's side of the base. So, curious Barbican position. Not really protecting much down here. I guess it's protecting the stone outcropping, but that's it. Like, maybe he could have gone on the berries here. Doesn't have a forward gold. He's got a back gold, so I guess maybe he just wanted to add a second town center out here, potentially. I'm not too sure exactly what the thought process is behind this Barbican. I guess it's just on the front. Doesn't really give you a lot of line of sight, though, so it's something to be very cognizant of, that it's really just like a very strong thing. Going to be going for that dynasty now. I do like this a lot from Lucifron. I will say that much. I like the fast dynasty in team games. Makes a lot of sense to go fast dynasty, especially into Chokunu. Really does. I'm going to take a quick drink, guys. Give me a second here. Alright, so we've got the Mister reaching the castle age. We'll take a look from his perspective. Keep in mind the Mister is playing as the Mongols in this game, so I would expect we're going to have double Lancer production coming out very shortly. We don't have anything because he's got no stone, but that's what I would be expecting he would be going into, especially with this composition of his opponent. So you can just outmass the Lancer numbers, and you can see the triple cavalry here. This is really what makes it such a potent threat, is because it's got mobility as well as countering the longbows. And you know the enemy play out their English, they're going to be making longbows, so it makes sense to go triple cavalry. So I think it's quite a smart move here from the East team, but now we can see that positioning is definitely what is being fought for here. Lucifron making a bit of a poor decision to be going up into the units there of his opponent, especially when his mass is basically the same size as the Knights. And obviously the Knights are so much stronger, but now the Mangudai are going to be pushing in down towards the base of Capoch, and Capoch going to be looking to fend that off down towards the base. Over towards the other side, we've got Vortex actually managing to do a pretty nice cleanup right here. We'll take a look as his opponent, Capoch, looks to try and get away, but once again, it looks like Hera's numbers are going to be able to outnumber that of his opponent, and Hera manages to hold on and force out the retreat there and defends Capoch's army. So Hera doing a great job. Really, he is the MVP, simply because he gets out so many units, but Hera not paying attention right now to his base, going to be losing at least 3 villages that go down. 1, 2, 3 berry gatherers right there, so unfortunate timing for him. And now the Mangudai are going to continue kiting away the forces of Hera. Going to be trying their best just to fire those arrows, but now we've got more raids coming down here towards the south. Vortex going up. He is the French player up towards the north on the east side. We'll be tuning in with him, see exactly what he's up to. Going up with the guild hall, no surprise there. Probably going to be switching that over to gold very soon. But now getting under attack here from Marine Lord, who has now hit his timing and is really looking to put that Rus powertrain into gear. But once again, Hera getting doing a great job cleaning up. And Hera's Team Hera, I don't even know what we call them, the west side right now, is really starting to pull ahead. And you got to feel like they're just outplaying these guys, outmaneuvering them, outthinking them. It definitely seems like the composition that they've got, or the way that they're playing, you know, the Rus fast castle with longbows and the Knights just seems to roll very, very well in this sort of play style. So really curious to see. Now down towards the Chinese player's base, we've got to go on board with Lucifron, see what he's up to. He's going to be trying to drop down that landmark for the next stage, not having a lot of luck. Gets the camp, or the mining camp, burned. Going to have to drop down that astronomical clock tower in his base as well. Doesn't actually get it within range of his Imperial Academy. And now the scout's going to be calling that one out. And looks like he's going to be looking to pick up reinforcements, so definitely the right choice up here from Lucifron, but at the same time, he's just monitoring the forces here of his opponent, Hera, continuing to come in. Lucifron now getting up to the next age. We'll check and see what upgrades he's going to be going for. Going to be getting that elite or veterancy upgrade now coming through for him. He'll be pushing that one out as quickly as possible. Keep in mind, Hera's still age 2, so that is a battle he's happy to take once he gets those upgrades. Sacred Sight's now going to be getting captured as well. Marine Lord looking to put the pressure on. And now it looks like we've got a couple of 2v2s that are going to be happening, because we've got Knights from Vortex going to be coming in down here towards the south. But at the same time, up towards the north, it looks like we've got Mangudai Lancer going to be trying to deal with those Horse Archer scouts. Knights on Knights, the classic French mirror that we love to see. Villagers got to be careful down here. We see there's 20 inside the town center. No evacuation just yet in towards those rams. There's a second ram that's going to be coming in, and Capoch is looking very strong, very steadfast here, as once again Lucifron looks to be the target of this early aggression. They do realize that the Chinese player is the threat in the late game. They've got to take him out. They've got to do their best to hamper any potential threat, and that is where their threat is. Up towards the north, we see Mister continuing to deal up here. Now, he knows that the mobility comes out from Marine Lord, but he's going to have to help out his teammate, though, because if he doesn't help them out, they're just going to lose on this front completely. You can see just how bad the numbers are here for them. Veteran Horsemen now coming through as well for Lucifron. He's posturing, he's trying his best. We're going to enter into the cinematic mode just to be able to watch this. Lucifron going to be doing his best, heading up towards that longbow mass, but it's just absolutely huge. At the same time, we've got Hera that continues to outnumber Vortex, despite him having those veteran upgrades. It's just going to not be enough. 20 villagers inside this town center, all going to be eaten alive here if Hera's not careful, or rather if if Lucifron isn't careful. There those villagers go. It looks like Vortex is going to be bringing those in. No, Vortex, you got to head in the other way. You got to screen for the villagers. You got to let them get out, but keep in mind, if he does lose the landmarks, he loses himself, he loses the game, he loses his soul. And that's it when it comes to these team games. They're so cutthroat. If you're not all together on the same page, then it makes it so difficult. So it really makes it hard when your opponent is running you around, giving you the Rus run around, exactly like we saw Marine Lord do. Probably got more raids coming up here towards the north. Indeed we do. We'll take a look from the perspective of Lucifron, and once again you can see this is just such a difficult position for Vortex, rather, because he's trying to send out villagers. There's 18 villagers out here. They're just getting picked off, and I don't even think he's paying attention. He's too busy down here trying to micro these forces. He's just sending them up towards, where is he going? Up towards this gold mine, because he knows that his gold mine out here has been depleted. So he's in such a difficult position now. A massive fight now going to be undertaking towards the front. We've got Marine Lord and Hera on the back line. Towards the front line, we've got the Mister doing his best. He finally gets in here. Khan Arrow going to be going off. All those knights, so much cavalry in here. Nest of Bees as well, getting in on the action. We can hear them chicken-jarring off on the back line. Villagers finally managing to find their way back through. They're probably going to be looking for a bit of a heal, a bit of a steal, but unfortunately this Nest of Bees probably going to be going down. Do they actually get off some heals off on it? That might be worthwhile. Going to be getting those shots off on the longbows. It's looking pretty decent at this point, but it really is a hard sell. You got to ask the question, how is Lucifron doing? He's down. He's got no villagers. Lucifron's got no villagers. How do you even come back from this position? You can't. You've got no town. The game is over. The game is over. At this point, the game is 100% over. Lucifron is out of the game. He has got no villagers. All he has got left is a clockwork nest of bees. What else does he even have on the map? He's got a clockwork nest of bees. That's literally it. He can't make any more villagers. He is out of villagers. Oh my lord, it's terrible, terrible damage. And from that, Vortex surrenders. They've obviously communicated to each other. Lucifron said, sorry guys, all my vills died. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That is your game. Lucifron without the villagers. Interesting strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out. Didn't play out too well. Fellas, I hope you enjoyed this cast. I'll make sure to catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.